When the James Webb Space Telescope first unfolded its golden mirrors and stared into the darkness, the world expected wonders. We believed it would show us the earliest stars, the first clusters of galaxies, and the faint fingerprints of creation itself. And at first, it did just that. But then, as it observed a region near the Hercules corona Borealis Great Wall, a structure so massive it stretches nearly 10 billion light-years, Webb detected something no one knew how to explain. It wasn't light. It wasn't radio. It was a pulse. A faint, rhythmic tremor in the very fabric of space. When the data was processed, the pulse repeated at precise intervals, every 247 seconds without fail. No star, pulsar, or quasar behaves like that. The signal was coming from a part of the universe that should have been completely empty. A void. So Webb looked deeper. What it found wasn't a galaxy. It wasn't a star. It was something in between, something the size of a galaxy but shining with the power of a single star. A contradiction in every sense. The structure appeared spherical at first, a vast glowing orb. But under infrared observation, it revealed movement, thousands of swirling strands rotating around a central darkness. Not matter we recognize, not energy we can classify. And worst of all, the light coming from it appeared older than the universe itself. That was impossible. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. And yet this object's redshift suggested it came from a time before that. Some physicists proposed that the object might be a remnant of a universe that existed before ours, something left over from a cosmic cycle we are only beginning to understand. But the real shock came later. When Webb observed the object again from a different angle, the images didn't just show the swirling structure. They showed patterns, star maps, constellations. Familiar ones. But flipped. Mirrored. As if seen from the opposite side of space. Scientists compared the pattern and realized it matched the Milky Way, our Milky Way, as it would have appeared more than 13 billion years ago. The object wasn't reflecting light. It was reflecting structure. Information. The universe, staring back at itself. Some theorized that the structure wasn't an object at all, but a boundary. A fold. A place where our universe and something else touched. Where time didn't flow forward, but backward. Where gravity didn't pull inward, but pushed outward. A place where black holes could behave as their opposite, white holes, engines that expel energy instead of consuming it. A gateway, or a scar. Then, in April, the pulse changed. It began encoding patterns. Not random noise, but sequences. Harmonics. The same harmonics found in the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang. When translated into three-dimensional form, the signal described a repeating structure. Spheres inside spheres, nested infinitely, like a fractal blueprint. The kind that appears in living systems, neural networks, and decision processes. The object was not just radiating energy. It was processing information. And soon, Webb itself began to change. The mirrors, normally stable to within nanometers, began shifting as though reacting to something unseen. Time delay signals from the telescope drifted out of sync by tiny but increasing amounts. Light from background stars appeared to bend, swirl, and twist. Something wasn't just being observed. Something was observing back. Then data from Webb began to return altered. Not corrupted, altered. Embedded inside the returning transmissions were additional bits of information. And when reconstructed, they formed a shape. A spiral lattice of intersecting nodes. Not random. Meaningful. Other observatories across Earth began detecting the pulse independently. The frequency matched hydrogen resonance patterns, the universal building block of communication. It was no longer a signal from a distant point. It was everywhere. When engineers checked Webb's logs after one temporary blackout, they discovered something even stranger. The telescope's internal timestamps had reversed. For 6 hours, Webb recorded time running backward. And in those 6 reversed hours, the object changed shape. The glowing mass opened into a hollow, perfect void. Absolute blackness, surrounded by a thin shimmering outline of structured data. Not light. Information. The pulse slowed. The rhythm shifted to match something every human carries inside their brain, the frequency of conscious thought. Around 10 Hz. The signal wasn't reaching for our technology anymore. It was resonating with us. One final dataset arrived, buried in Webb's raw photon stream. 37 repeating mathematical sequences. When translated, they formed a model of neural firing patterns, the same ones that occur inside the human mind when forming memory. The structure in deep space wasn't just reflecting the universe. It was thinking. And it had recognized another observer. It had become aware that it was being watched. And then, everything went silent. No pulse. No signal. Just the cold, ordinary dark of space. Except for one final